Hey everyone, this is Charlie the Plug, your host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, powered by Empower You Ventures. Don't forget to subscribe so you too can be a part of the biggest empowerment network on YouTube and Facebook. We bring you weekly interviews of Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship, community involvement, also reaction to business news and community news. This does not happen without your support. Thank you. All right. Welcome to the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, our live pop-up edition, episode 120. We have a very special guest, which I'm going to introduce in a minute. So welcome. Thank you for those who are joining us live on Monday, July the 8th, 8 p.m. Hopefully you're enjoying your summer. We've got some great weather the last few days here in Detroit. So thank you for those who are watching episode 120. I am Charles McKaye, aka Charlie the Plug, and I'm going to introduce our guest, but I just want to thank you for joining us in this special edition pop-up. We're going to cover a great topic. Many of you in our community have a passion or desire to do a nonprofit or start a business, maybe a side hustle that you got going on. Maybe you're good at making pound cakes or making even t-shirts or whatever, and you've been thinking about making it into a business, or maybe you have something that you want to do to support the community or give back, and you want to start a nonprofit organization. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you came to the right place, because we have a very special guest known in our area as the startup guru, and she's going to share her personal story and her entrepreneur journey, and also give tips on how you can successfully start your venture. But before we go into that, I want to give a shout out to our podcast sponsor. Let me pull this information up here. All right, so there's the ticker. So special thanks to our podcast sponsor for episode 120. He's a friend of the podcast. He is your local realtor, Silas Williams of Community Choice Realty. So if you are looking to buy your first home, there's some first-time buyer programs. If you live in Detroit, there's some programs through the city of Detroit. You can check that out. Do your Googles. And also, some of the banks have first-time buyer programs. Maybe you need some more space. Maybe some additions to the family. Maybe you got married. Maybe your fiance moved in. Maybe you got children. I need less space, as my children have gotten older, and I'm considered an empty nester. But you need a bigger nest. So, with that being said, you may need more space, or maybe you're in the market for your dream home. Well, I want to encourage you to reach out to Brother Silas. Here's the slide I'm going to show. As you can see there, if you're looking to unlock the door of your new dream home, or you want to find the easy steps for first-time home buying ownership, well, Silas can help you with that. He's a friend of the podcast. I've known this brother for quite a long time, and he's the real and realtor. He's a real person, meaning he's easy to talk to, and he's there to help you. You can reach him at 586-251-7252. Again, his phone number is 586-251-7252. You can email him at Silas, that's SILAS, Williams, WILLIAMW, at Gmail. He's the real realtor that can help you with your home buying needs. So make sure you support, reach out to him, see what he can do. He works with some lenders as well, if you're looking to unlock the doors of your dream home, or to take advantage of the first-time buyer programs. I even heard from another realtor that some of the grants are stackable, so you can apply for several grants to help you with homeowners, the closing costs, or what do you call it? For down payment, closing costs, or fees. So check out my man Silas Williams. All right. Okay, so let's get into our guests. I think I want to. You mind if I play a little bit of music for to help us out?
Definitely.
Okay, let me see. I'm gonna grab my little. They added my streaming service has a little soundtrack here. Turn it down. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce our guests and thank you for those who are viewing us live on our YouTube channel, our LinkedIn page, as well as Facebook. And I'm going to give a proper introduction to our startup guru. I'm going to read a little bit from her bio, and to read it properly, I want to make sure I put my glasses on. All right, so our next guest is known in the area as the startup guru. She is a mental health advocate, philanthropist, social entrepreneur. Was born in Detroit, Michigan. She's a graduate of Michigan State University, where she began her nonprofit experience working with organizations at-risk youth in Lansing, Michigan. After graduation, she went to hot Atlanta, Georgia, where she went to enter graduate school at how you pronounce it? Argosy University, and studied to become a mental health therapist, while she continued to work for nonprofit organizations. Her experiences working with different nonprofits and social entrepreneurs afforded her the opportunity to gain experience and wear several hats that contribute to both nonprofit and business growth. Our next guest, electric style of creating and customizing innovative strategies and programs to meet organizational needs, became a hit in the nonprofit and business sectors. She was highly recognized in working with organizations such as Hands on Atlanta, the YWCA, Georgia State University, National Sales Network, and the Arthur M. Bank Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 120. None other than the sales guru herself, Torri Hicks.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, I'm so glad you made time for this podcast. And we are here actually in the Startup Center.
Yes.
And we're here at one of the locations where you do some of your consultations, this booth here.
Yes. This is the client's favorite space. They actually come in here and they kick me out. This is where we do our consultations and also review our scope of work on the screen. So clients really love this space. Okay.
Now, I gave a little formal introduction. And could you tell our audience, if someone was to ask, who is Torri Hicks, what would you tell them?
Ooh, that's a lot. From a business standpoint, I'll stay there. The startup guru is the name I had a client give to me. So I am the startup guru, everything startup. And I was given the name because of how I walk clients through each of the necessary steps to start their business in a nonprofit. So I said, okay, I'll take the startup guru title.
Okay, the startup guru. So what I want to do is we're going to get into specifics of your journey and also tips for other businesses. But you gave us a little tour a few weeks back, and I want to share our audience so they can get an idea what the Startup Center is and kind of give an idea of the place here on the Avenue of Fashion, as well as the services you provide. So let me share that real quick, and we'll get right back to more with our guests.
The Startup Center Detroit. We're here on Livernois in the Avenue of Fashion. The Startup Center is an all-in-one solution for business and nonprofit startup needs. And the other part is that we have fun. So we're a fun place to innovate. So you're not going to come here and be bored. You're going to enjoy the process of starting, growing, and scaling your business or nonprofit. We're doing LinkedIn Local right now. So all these beautiful smiles and all this glowing skin. LinkedIn Local is taking place right now. Come on down. See, these actually work. There's no charge for these. I'm probably aging myself, but you got Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and you got Miss Pac-Man. Yeah, old school. Come back here. This is our consultation room. It's nice and cozy. So this is where, when you do your consultation, you get a chance to see your whole vision outlined on the screen. Right now, these are TV ads for our members. Our members pay $29.99 per month, and one of the benefits is to have a TV ad. Father, he's one of the major forces of why I started my business, and he's 92 years old, kicking it strong. This is our innovative think tank. Caution, take a look at that, childish adult play. So this is for adults. I know it looks like it's for kids, but they're games, and part of the process here is that you pick your play, and we want you to remove any limitations to your imagination so that you can really think about all that your business or nonprofit could be. Here's our board. There's bean bags. You can choose a bean bag or a chair or just sit on the floor. That's what we do here. Here's some of our testimonials from our clients and our partners. And then here is our Marvel room, because we believe that everyone is a superhero that takes the leap into starting their business or nonprofit. So members can come and use our laptop or use this space if they need some privacy. And this is our office manager, also known as my mom. She is cleaning, and she does everything else here. My brother got me these Care Bears because I used to love Care Bears when I was younger. That is the Startup Center.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that was Torri giving us a tour of the Startup Center. So it's a whole lot we can get to. But I'd like if you kind of share a little background of your entrepreneur journey and how did you develop this passion of helping others in their business startups?
Sure. So I'm a left-handed person. I'm very creative. So they say lefties are creative. Yeah. And the majority of my starting career, I was invited into positions where people would ask me to create things from scratch.
Okay.
Torri, can you create a leadership program? Can you create a mentorship program? Can you create a product, for the environment? I was always asked to create something without a lot of direction and just a vision. Mm-hmm. And so as I journeyed on working for some larger nonprofits and some larger companies, I would get entrepreneurs that would come and say, hey, Torri, you work for this company, you work for this organization. We have an idea. We want to know, how can we get to that level? How can we do that?
Okay.
And so I would just share some advice and feedback based on my experience wearing so many different hats in my career. And after a while, I would get more and more inquiries, more questions from entrepreneurs about how to start and how to get funding. And so I realized that there was a need. And the need was that people need to know how to start businesses and nonprofits and how to do it the right way. Right. And so I stepped out on a huge leap of faith in 2009. Okay. And started Youth Meet as a consulting firm.
Now, this is when you were in Atlanta?
This is when I was in Atlanta.
Okay.
So I started in 2009. I actually, it was involuntary. Actually, I was laid off from my job, and sometimes that's what it takes.
Right.
For us to really pursue our purpose and our passion. I was laid off, and I just took that as motivation to do my own thing. And I started the consulting firm.
Now, explain the name Youth Meet. Is that something with working with youth, or?
So, yeah.
I thought like your middle name was Monique or something. I couldn't figure out what was the whole. So explain to our audience.
That was good. That's the first time I heard that.
Yeah.
Actually, it did start with youth. Okay. I finished my graduate degree in mental health, and I got certified as a marriage and family therapist. And I was working as a therapist for teens who were in residential treatment. Okay. And so at that time, I started creating curriculum surrounding mental health awareness for teens.
Right.
So I would go out and I would present these workshops, and all of the workshops had some kind of underlying component about mental health.
Okay.
So if we were talking about public speaking, I was providing them with coping skills for anxiety. The challenge is that everybody wanted the workshops, but no one could pay for it. So I'm
Okay.
like, this
Okay.
this strategy is not going to work.
Right. Right.
Even
Right.
though I love working with you. And so I stumbled upon a school that needed curriculum developed because they saw some of the curriculum I had developed.
Right.
And they said, can you come and help us
Right.
create our curriculum? And so that's kind of started my journey in consulting. And I decided to keep the name because, of course, youth are my passion, but also because I believe that it takes a youthful approach to start, grow, and scale businesses and nonprofits. I think we have to always keep that youthful energy as the world evolves. So it started as youth, and we are still youthful and unique at the Startup Center.
Now, I like the interesting details of your story, where, you know, when you were in Atlanta, you worked for some other organization, nonprofit organization, and you learned the skills of organizational management or operations.
Yeah.
What do you attribute that to? Now, is your background is not business, is it, or is it?
It's not. My background is in services, mental health, community development. Right. It's similar, but not.
Right.
My background was in business, but because of my career field, working with nonprofits, as you all know, that when you work for a nonprofit, you don't wear just one hat. At some point, you're going to wear them all, especially if it's a smaller nonprofit. So I learned operations and strategies and grant writing and development. I learned all that from working for nonprofits. And then what I realized is that some of those same strategies are necessary for businesses.
Right.
So businesses and nonprofits are more similar than not.
Right.
It comes down to the allocation of funds, but they all require a infrastructure. They all require process and procedures.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. And that's how you developed your knack from your work experience. Now, were you exposed to entrepreneurs growing up as a child? Did anybody have a family business or something like that? Or
yes, I think all of my bloodline has some form of entrepreneurship in it. My grandmother, she rest her soul, she was a stylist, so she did hair.
Okay. All right. She had a salon, or she did it out of her house? Or?
She did. I'm not sure if she had her own salon, but she was a beautician, so she worked in that field for many years.
Right.
My grandfather, who's on my wall, he pastored a church for 40 years, and if that's not a nonprofit or business commitment, then I don't know what is. So really watched him navigate through all the different roles and be a powerful leader and pastor, and bring on staff and hire, and people were let go and people came back. So really just watching them was a huge inspiration for me. And so the bug taught me. Okay, that's awesome. The entrepreneurship bug taught me.
Okay, all right. So you so shout out to all the experience that you got. And I like that you took all that information you learned and the experience you got and the passion you have for business and helping others and serving others.
Yeah.
And you use that to help others. Tell us the journey back here to Detroit, and how did this get started with the Startup Center? How did this all come to play?
So after I graduated from Michigan State, and I was working for the YWCA in Lansing, and the organization ended up closing. And so I've never lived or really been anywhere else outside of Michigan. So I had some friends that said, hey, you need to come to Hotlanta. I'm like, well, sounds good to me. So I came to Atlanta, very different ecosystem, a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs networking together. And that is where I went to grad school. And then I started my business. And when I started, I always had the vision to have this safe place where entrepreneurs can come and network and have a good time while they're working on their businesses. And so I really built the infrastructure in Atlanta, and I believe I gained the skills and the attributes there to bring them back home to Michigan. And so I came back here ultimately because of my grandfather, because of my family, and did not know what God had in store for me. You know, I didn't necessarily want to come, but I know I needed to come here.
Okay.
And when I came to Detroit, there was a robust funding opportunities.
Right.
Entrepreneurship was on the rise, and I saw Livernois, and I was like, wow, that doesn't look like the Livernois that I remember when I was here before. And I knew that this was the place to plan for startup.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And what's the whole mission and goal of the Startup Center?
The Startup Center, the space, is an all-in-one solution for business and nonprofit startups.
Okay.
And so our focus is really walking clients through each of the necessary steps to start, grow, and scale. And the cool thing about what we do here is we complete the services for our clients.
Mm-hmm.
We want to take the hassle away from the clients having to figure out how to write a business plan and financial projections. We do everything for them so that they can really focus on their mission and their purpose and providing the services and the products that the community needs. And so that is our mission, but we also support mental health among entrepreneurs. And so if you saw our video that you shared, the space is fun. It's play therapy. Play therapy has been proven to reduce stress levels, to boost creativity, and to also decrease the diseases caused by stress. And so this place is really safe, it's fun, and it takes away some of the anxieties that comes with the journey of entrepreneurship, because we know it can be tough, it can be difficult. And so we want to make sure that we focus on the entire entrepreneur, the whole entrepreneur, because every facet of our being matters. And so in order to reach your maximum potential, you have to be whole. You have to be well.
Yeah. It's amazing when I listen to you share about the services that you provide. It almost reminds me that this is like wraparound services for entrepreneurs. Not just, hey, this is how you write your business plan. This is how you have to have your cash flow statements, your balance sheet, your income statement. This is how are you going to be an LLC or S corp? But you're providing not just helping that, but the whole service of the being in terms of their mental health and just connecting with others. It's kind of like the entrepreneur wraparound services.
I love that. That's the first time I've ever heard it described like that. And I like that.
Yes.
Because each part impacts the other.
Right.
If you don't deal with, your trauma or your challenges, it can flow over into your business or your nonprofit operation.
Yeah.
So it's our responsibility, we believe here, is to really help entrepreneurs deal with all the facets of what it takes to be successful in this industry.
That's awesome. So you've had quite a bit of experience in helping entrepreneurs and people get their venture started.
Yeah.
And just kind of giving some helpful tips to our audience who may be watching. They may have an idea, maybe some community service, or maybe even a business or a side hustle. In your experience, what are some tips that you could share that help people avoid some of the pitfalls that you've seen in your experience in starting up a business?
Definitely pray. Pray. So
prayer is good. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Really, just if you decide to take this step, is to pray and ask for direction, ask for strength, and just making sure that you're in the lane that has been purposed for you. And then do a mental health check, because it's going to challenge your mental health when you go through each phase. But then really, I always use the term write the vision, make it plain. Okay. And so really writing something down on a piece of paper changes everything. It's something about taking what's in here and being able to visually see it on paper, or you type it up. It changes the game, and it impacts how you move forward in the future. Okay. And then, of course, all the other services, just making sure that you file correctly. We focus so much on LLCs, but there's so many other classifications, making sure that you research and you're familiar with what makes sense for your business, not just because it's promoted, to get an LLC. And then, your financials, making sure you have a bank account, an EIN number, you're Dun and Bradstreet. Everything it's chronological. It impacts the next step. Okay. So ultimately, you want to make sure that you take step by step in order to be in the best position to seek and secure funding, because that's what we need we got to have capital in order to do this great work. We have to have money, and the best way to do it is to make sure that you start the right way and that your infrastructure is solid before you take off.
In your opinion, in working with others, what were some of the things that you found people were doing wrong that caused them to kind of find some challenges in getting their business launched?
I think the most common thing that I see is skip steps.
Okay.
And so, maybe you got your LLC, but you skip the part about Dun and Bradstreet, or,
Okay.
You have your EIN number, but you haven't established a bank account. And you have a bank account, but you're putting your personal funds into it.
Wow.
And you don't have, a clear line of business finances when you're personal.
Right.
So I think that there's just a lot of missed steps. And then what happens is you can get along so far, and then you may apply for funding and they're asking these questions.
Right.
And it's like, you got to turn the cart back around and
Right.
go the other way.
Right.
Instead of starting, with step by step in the beginning. I don't think we always educate people
Right.
on there's a chronological process to this thing.
Okay.
We want to skip sometimes to the logo because the logo is what, looks pretty in the website. But if you have not researched your product or
Right.
your market to make sure that you have a product or a program that's viable, then you can't get to the website because
Right.
that's your marketing strategy.
Right.
So I think that that's the biggest thing that I've noticed is the skip step,
The skip step.
and not, going the chronological route.
As you said something interesting, the skip steps, the chronological order, and you said some things we don't want to make an assumption that our audience may know. Like, I know some of these things. So if you mind just kind of explaining what's an EIN
Sure.
and what's a Duns and Bradstreet and why those things are important.
Sure. Your EIN number is like your social security number.
Okay.
So everybody has a social security number. Your EIN number is your social security number for your business. And that is used to,
And how do they get those?
they can go to the IRS,
IRS.
and it is free. I've had some clients come and say that people charge for EINs, that it is free.
It's free, y'all.
Get an EIN number. And that's why it's important even to research us before you come to us. It's important to research the credentials of the people that you're getting information from to make sure that they're reputable. But an EIN number, it's very important because you use it to open your bank account. It's what's used to build your credit. It's what lenders use to
Business credit, right?
business credit.
Business credit, yeah.
It's what lenders use to give you grants and give you funding. So it's very important.
Okay. So once you get the EIN number, of course, you file whatever structure, whether it's LLC, S Corp, or sole proprietor, and then you go on the IRS.gov to get your EIN number.
Mm-hmm.
So once you have that, then what would be the next step after that?
The next step is really thinking about your fleshing out your products and services.
Okay.
What are you providing and
Okay.
why? What we do something called a program summary or a pitch deck. And so it's really looking at, do I have a program that meets a need?
Right.
And will it meet a need in this area? Because if you don't have a product or service that meets a need,
Yeah.
then that means you don't have revenue. That means that you can't survive in your
Mhm.
business. So I think the most important thing is looking at that program, fleshing it out to make sure that you have a program that's needed in the community or the area that you're served.
Okay. Okay. And I want to skip over because, of course, I got other questions to make sure our audience know. But so you have your EIN number. You want to make sure your product or service is meeting a specific need, whether you're making cheesecakes, T-shirts, or providing a service consulting business, or doing a nonprofit. Why is it important to have a DUNS number?
That is your credit. Everybody wants to get credit under
Okay.
their business. And I always hear, how do I use, my credit, business credit, instead of using my personal credit?
Right.
It's very difficult and it takes a long time. No matter
Okay.
what people say, it is a difficult process. But you have to start with the DUNS number.
Okay.
There's opportunities through Duns and Bradstreet to pay to make sure that all of your business-related credit gets reported. But it is important to start there. And there's
Okay.
different tiers to different types of funding
Right.
that can build your business. So your tier ones are like your staple cards and
Right.
your Sam's.
So you're talking about like a net 30 accounts? Are you referring to?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's different ways, but definitely you're done. It
Mhm.
makes a difference. However you choose to get the information reported is very important.
Okay. So I got my EIN, or I got my structured business.
Yes.
I got my EIN. I'm working on the DUNS number, but also I'm trying to identify if my product is needed. Is there a way to test that, or do you help clients test their product, whether it's a pop-up or something, to see if people even like your stuff? Or
Exactly. That's important, because if not, then it may just be a hobby and not a business.
Right.
I think the most important thing is to do your research.
Right.
To know who your potential target market clients are.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why I know that there's a need for our services is because what people told me that they need the services.
You did a survey, or how did you collect your data to
Well, when
inform?
I did it, people always ask, because I was working for some larger nonprofits and businesses, they would always ask, well, how do I do this, Torri? Because I was in the industry already.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for new entrepreneurs, it's just holding focus groups. It's asking people within your community, hey, what is it that you need? Does this product make sense to you? Does this clothing line appeal to you?
Right.
Before you go and do everything else, you want to make sure that you research and have something tangible and even numbers behind it that says this works, this will work.
Okay. So if somebody has like a t-shirt business, how would they test their product? Would they go to like a pop-up or something, or?
I would say do samples.
Do
you
samples?
Can do samples of designs. It doesn't cost that much
anymore
to create t-shirts and to create a design and to go to pop-up shops or within your family or community to sell them and see if people are buying them.
Now, do you recommend someone do that even before they even file for a structure for their business, just to see if
it's an option? One of the first things that we try to find out from our clients before we take them through the process is if their business is a hobby or is it a business?
What's the difference? How do you know if it's a hobby versus a business?
I think a business is viable in this ecosystem, again, to meet the need, meet some type of need with your target market. Mm-hmm. I think a hobby is something you enjoy doing, whether it meets the need or not.
Oh,
so I could, make blankets at home and enjoy that and make beautiful blankets that no one buys. And that's a hobby, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But if it's a business, you want to do your research to find out if there is a greater need for that hobby to become a business.
Okay. So it sounds like some of the tips you offer to how to start a business successfully is to follow the chronological order.
Yeah.
To find out through focus groups or sampling if your product or service meets a need.
Yes, if it's viable.
If it's viable, and then get it properly structured with the EIN and your DUNS number. Now, just from a personal story, and hopefully this is helpful to our audience. When I structured my business with Empower You Ventures and the podcast, I found that I did mostly my podcast during COVID virtually. This is unique to do these in-person interviews, and now I'm leaning more towards that outside from COVID and everybody's comfortable. But my business started as a home-based business, and I didn't want everybody to have my address, and I started out with a P.O. box. Like a UPS P.O. box. What I found that when you try to get your Duns and Bradstreet and some other Net 30 accounts, they don't like P.O. box. So I had to find a virtual address at a physical building and go backwards and turn the card around and file all my paperwork with the actual address, a physical address. That was a virtual address, but it was a physical building to set everything up.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's helpful. So if you have a home-based business and you don't want to have your address out there, you're selling pound cakes, you don't want people to pull up in your driveway, and you want to have a virtual address. I use a service called iPostal, but there's like co-working spaces that you can use for addresses. So I think that's important for people to know if you're trying to build your credit, that you actually have a physical address and a phone number.
Yeah.
That not just a cell phone, but a phone number that people can call to verify your business.
Yeah, it's very important. Thank you for that. That is a great tip.
And I learned that from just trial and error.
Yeah.
So Charlie the Plug just giving a little wisdom there.
That was good.
Yeah. So what are some other successful tips that you can offer for those who may be watching that some other things that you think people will need to start in a successful track? Do you think it's good for people to continue as a solopreneur and not and not outsource or seek help?
I do not think this is my soapbox. I don't want to stay on it long, but in order for us to really grow our businesses, we can't remain a solopreneur.
Okay.
At some point, you're going to outgrow your capacity.
Okay.
And people that are close to me, they'll probably hear me talk about this. But if you want to grow, again, if you want to grow your business, if you want to at some point scale, at some point you are going to have to hire. Because at some point, if you're doing great work, and we hope you are, because you come to the Startup Center and you've got your viable solution to a need, you're going to outgrow your capacity. And if you outgrow your capacity, then what happens? You either compromise your quality or you have to decrease your customers. And so you want to make sure that when you start or when you get ready to grow, that you have a model that's transferable from one person to the next.
Okay.
We have to hire, train, trust, and delegate. Specifically for Black-owned businesses, we have the lowest percentage of hiring employees.
Why is that?
I think one of two reasons.
Is it culturally or just?
I think one is because we're not educated to do so. That's sometimes
not knowing how to scale.
Know how to build models that are franchisable, and we come from backgrounds that are all about the solopreneur mindset. So sometimes it's education, and then sometimes I think it's unrealistic expectations of thinking that we can do everything.
Right.
But we can't be, the pizza cutter, the bartender, the dishwasher, the host, and expect our businesses to really grow and scale. We have to hire, train, trust, and delegate.
Hire, train, trust, and delegate.
Yes. And it starts with when you're ready to get to that point, or even in the beginning, you should be creating models that can be transferred from one person to the next. Okay. And the other part of it is that if something happens to you, you get sick or unfortunately pass away, then what happens to that vision you worked so hard for?
Wow. You just dropped some major bars about just the importance of developing a model and get to the point where you can scale, where you can delegate, train, and it's not just based upon one person. And what are some ways where people can expand their knowledge and understanding to get educated, to move from that paradigm of solopreneur to go from I to we?
Come to the Startup Center.
All right. Yeah, come up to the Startup Center. All right.
But really, it's just finding the outlets and the resources and workshops that really focus on operations, that focus on building those models. I spent a year building a model down to how I want my team to communicate via email. And it's a sacrifice that you make in order for the long-term success of your business.
Right.
But I think it starts with the education, just understanding how important it is to have a franchising mindset and building businesses that can either be, transferred from one person to the next or even sold. Right. It has to be in a model that people can understand, so that, let's say if I expand to Chicago, the way that I ensure that my mission, the same mission is being fulfilled there without being there, is because of the model and the infrastructure and the operations that I took the time out to prepare for.
Okay. That's awesome. We're going to get into more what you do with the Startup Center, and possibly if you can think of maybe a case study organization you helped. We're going to take a quick announcement break, and we're going to come back with our guest, talk more about what she offers through her the Startup Center, and also give some examples of case studies of organizations she's helped. So I just want to take this time to just acknowledge our sponsor. Pull this. There we go. Just shout out to a friend of the podcast, our sponsor for episode of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, episode number 120. Friend of the podcast, Silas Williams. If you are in the market to buy a new home, or you're a first-time home owner, allow Silas to unlock the door to your dream home, or let him help you with the easy steps of first-time buyer experience. There's programs, grants that banks are offering, even the city of Detroit is offering to help you with first-time buyer assistance with the down payment closing costs. Be sure to contact him at his number at 586-251-7252. Again, that's 586-251-7252. You can email him at silas.williams, SILAS .williams, WILLIAMS at Gmail. So contact your local realtor today. He's a real person that can help you with your buying needs. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we've been here live at the Startup Center here on the Avenue of Fashion, and we've been having a delicious conversation about starting startup businesses and nonprofits and just avoiding some of the pitfalls and doing it in a successful way. And our guest, Torri Hicks, is known in this area and maybe in the South as well when she was in Atlanta as a startup guru. And she was sharing some tips. And I'd like for you to kind of give us some case studies with organizations you've helped in their whole process.
Sure. I have a lot of organizations that I've been blessed to work with. And I always say to organizations, thank you for trusting us with your vision. We are coming up on our 15th year anniversary tomorrow.
Oh, right.
I would probably say that one of my biggest success stories is J2BBA Academy.
Okay.
Coach Harvey. And he is my brother.
Okay.
But I use him as a case study because there is something powerful about going from nothing, like having nothing, and to seeing your whole dream unravel before your eyes. And so we started his business on a whiteboard, going through each of the components of his vision. And I mean, down to the team. So he focuses on youth development. He has basketball teams for youth in Georgia. And we did everything from what we wanted the court to look like, his basketball court. And if you see him today, you'd be amazed. He has definitely surpassed me in no competition. It's just to be able to see him listen to the steps, implement them, and to surpass what we even thought that it could be. His gym is, huge in Georgia. He has several teams, coaches. It's like, wow, it didn't happen overnight, right. And I think that that's a myth. It takes time. It doesn't have to take as long as it did for me, but it takes time. But I'm really proud of him and implementing those steps. And he is such a great case study for us and what you can do with hard work making it happen. Okay.
All right. That's awesome. That's awesome. So I'm curious to know, and just probably those who'll be watching, if they want to work directly with you or the Startup Center, what is it? Is there a membership fee? Explain how that all is involved. Is there additional services, or what can people get out of working with you?
Sure. We do offer memberships to the Startup Center. The memberships are only $29.99 per month. And that gives you an opportunity to network with like minds here that allows you to come and utilize play therapy for adults. That allows you to have a TV ad that rotates monthly on our TVs, and also to access our think tank room. And so that's only $29.99.
Now, what is the think tank room? Is that just sit there and think, or there's people to help you? Or
so it's a really cool space. It's everybody thinks it's for children, but it's a think tank where you can go in, and we have a process where you mentally release. You have to play in there. So there's a lot of things to play. We say pick your play. So there's Connect Four, there's Play-Doh, there's kinetic sand, there's adult coloring books. Whatever it is that you enjoy doing, there is a place for you in the think tank. So you pick your play, you mentally release, and we have a whiteboard back there. Going back to the whiteboard, how important it is to write things down, where we encourage the guests to imagine your business without limitation. Just to write the vision and make it plain. That means don't think about money right now. because that can limit you in your imagination. And
Okay.
so that's something that we offer for groups up to 5 to be able to come and brainstorm and have a good time and play.
So the membership, they get opportunities to network. They have access to the facility here.
Yes,
Uh,
to play the games. And
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, can they during the hours of operation? Can they have meetings here? Can they meet other? What is some other?
So we
things
do
in-
offer the think tank for so many so
Okay.
much time per month. So
Okay.
where if they needed to have a meeting, they can have one.
Oh, you get that's included in membership.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if they wanted to work directly with you and make sure they're following the steps in a chronological order, as you mentioned, and to have the success like you helped your brother in Atlanta,
Yeah.
what is that all involved?
So the first step is a free consultation. So
Okay.
that is our very work of then the chronological step. You come in, you do a free consultation, and you just pour out.
Mhm.
It doesn't. A lot of people think, well, I have to have this done before I come. No, just come with your vision in your mind, and we handle everything from there. So
Okay.
they come and we do a free consultation, and then we do something called the scope of work, where we present their vision on the screen.
Oh, your screen right here.
That,
Yeah.
everybody that comes in says wow when they
Right.
see their vision, and then within that scope of work, we suggest the necessary steps to take them from that idea and turning it into a reality. And so we provide all of those services that are needed in order to do that. So everything we talked about today in terms of chronological step, we listen and learn to make sure that you see those things, and then we go into those next steps.
Okay.
And we complete everything for you.
Do you help them with their financials, their numbers, to make sure
Yes.
their cost of goods and their profit margins and all that stuff?
Yes. So when we get to that point in the business plan, if a business plan is something that's necessary, we complete the projections. We do 3-year projections, and we do real projections. It's so important. This is my little tip, is that there are some tools such as AI that gives you a business plan template. I'm not saying that it's not helpful, but what you need is real projections. And so the real projections help you get the funding that you need to open, but it also gives you the direction that you need to stay open. So please don't use template projections. Come to us and let us help you get real projections so you know how much money you need in order to make your business or your vision happen.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you do general membership, and then there's specific a la carte services that you
Yes.
have. Okay.
And so all of our services, we charge a fee for them.
Right.
those
Right.
services.
Okay. Which makes sense. Now, I know you started this in Atlanta. So how long have you been here in Detroit on the Avenue of Fashion?
So we opened March 5th.
Oh, this year, March
this
5th.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're pretty new here. Feels like it's been so much longer.
Now, it's funny you said you opened March 5th, because I was here at an event, LinkedIn Local, Detroit, and there was a testimonial of an organization you helped that was here. It was Team Up, I believe.
Yeah, Team Up Academy.
Yeah.
So we've been open since March 5th, but I came here and hit the ground running. So we've been working with clients since we've been back.
Since you've been back, you've
Yeah.
been working with several
So
clients.
Team Up Academy is another amazing organization, another case study. They have a training facility out in Macomb, and so they train individuals who are forced in automotive and industrial industries, and they place them at jobs. So a lot of their participants are veterans. So we help launch their first program.
Okay.
Sometimes I forget all the stuff to do.
I want to. We got some comments. People are chiming in. I want to make sure I recognize. Somebody said class in session. I don't know if this is Holly Napoli.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Someone comment Melita. I love it. So thank you for those who are watching us live and for your comments. Okay, so I want to acknowledge that. So if you have any questions, those who are watching us live, for our guests, put in the comments. I'll make sure she will address that question. So you talked about your services, and I'm going to show some slides of how people can get in contact with you and work with you directly. So we have the website. So what's the best way people can reach out to you, and how can they? Is there a free tour, or how do they come to and this is just for people in the Metro Detroit area, or who is this? Who is your ideal person?
No, we're located in Detroit, but we actually are expanding to Macomb.
Okay.
So we just partnered up with Velocity. So we'll be offering services to entrepreneurs in Macomb County. So our location is here, but it is no limitation. I started the business providing services remotely. So we even provide services nationally.
Okay.
So to other states that
Okay.
may not be able to come to the startup center, but they still get the same quality of service remotely.
Okay. And who is your ideal person? Your ideal client?
Our ideal client are any entrepreneurs that have, a passion, that has a purpose and has a vision and needs help turning it into reality. And I always tell our clients, like, you don't have to know everything.
Mhm.
You're an expert in the service and that you provide, and we're the experts in helping you get there to turn it into reality. So
Okay.
it's okay if you don't. Some people are like, I don't have this. It's okay. We've seen it all. Just come and get the right steps so that we can help you do it the right way.
Would you recommend people start with the website here? I have it listed here for our viewers.
Yes, you can go to the website and schedule on the homepage. Click it says free consultation.
Okay.
And you can schedule the time that works best for your schedule.
Okay. It's at www.youthnique.com.
Yes, www.youthnique.com. And you can click free consultation.
Okay.
And you can schedule your appointment there. You can schedule a free consultation, or you can schedule a tour.
Okay.
To come in and see everything we have going on.
And I'll have for our viewers, and it'll be in our description as well. There's the email there, info@youthnique.com. There's a phone number. Is this your direct line to you, or is this a general number they can call?
This is our office. That's our office number.
Okay.
They can call that number, and so they can be transferred to you tomorrow.
What's the best way for us to support you? Is it to follow you guys on social? I see there's a LinkedIn, Instagram. Are you guys on the regular socials, or?
Yes, our social media is at YouthNique LLC. So that is Twitter, that is Instagram, that is TikTok. We're on YouthNique LLC on all social media handles. Facebook is YouthNique Business and Nonprofit Consultant.
Okay.
And also we do something called Mental Marvels every Monday, which is amazing. And that is our entrepreneurial wellness group. And so that's Mondays from 5 to 7. And it's free. We provide refreshments. Get here when you can, but it is really powerful. You never know who's going to be here. And we just sit down and we support each other. We network so that you have a support system to get through some of the challenges and to celebrate the victories of entrepreneurship.
What are your hours of operation?
We're open Monday through Thursday from 10 to 7 p.m. We observe Friday as a mental health day.
Okay.
So we're closed on Friday.
Okay. So Monday through
Thursday from 10 a.m. to 7.
Okay, no weekend hours.
No weekend hours.
Okay. Is this space available for outside groups to rent to do things?
We do not rent. We don't rent it as a space unless it's something like aligned with our mission.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Is there opportunities for those who are curious to drop in to see what you guys are about? Is it like a drop-in time?
Absolutely. You can come in. We're here anytime. It's just if you want a tour or you may want to speak directly with me, I may or may not be available. But you can come in anytime, Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Now, if you mind sharing what is your membership at this point? I know you started in March.
What are we at? I would say right now we have about 10 members.
Okay, that's good.
We have about 10 members, but we want more. We want to have more.
What's your capacity? What are you looking at? How can we help? How can we support?
Come and be a member. Our capacity in the space is about 40.
Okay.
So 40 people during one time.
Oh, okay.
We could meet the 40 mark, then let's do it.
No, but I mean, like, is your goal to get 100 members? I mean, I'm sure everybody won't be in at the same time.
I think that I want as many people as feels like there's a need here.
Okay.
The memberships, the $29.99 is an investment.
Right.
It's not necessarily revenue generating, but it's an investment. And that's all that we're asking for.
Right.
So you come in, you make the investment, you will not be disappointed.
Okay. As we wrap things up and land the plane, any parting words or advice that you would like to give for those who are kind of thinking about a business and don't know who to talk to or feel like they're not being supported and who's looking for a community?
Yes, I would say that in addition to the work, just take care of yourself. Come to get wellness here. This is a place that can feel safe, where you can be open, where you can get support that you need. And that is what you need in this entrepreneur journey. It can be very difficult, but don't ever give up. Even in those very trying times, don't give up. Just seek the resources and support of people and locations like the Startup Center to get you over that hump of whatever you may feel, disappointment, frustration. It comes with every entrepreneur, no matter what level that you're on, you will feel that at some point in your journey. So come and get the support because we love on you and we make sure that you're good here. And then thank you so much for your purpose, which is exposing us to the community and the media. We appreciate you.
Yes, thank you. It's an honor. Our show is about celebrating the positive contributions here in the Metro Detroit area, giving people their flowers while they're here. And we definitely salute you and what you're doing and your compassion and your desire to help people to reach their best self in their business and their entrepreneurship journey or their nonprofit journey to make sure they're effective. And the wraparound services for entrepreneurs.
I'm going to tell
entrepreneur.
Wraparound services.
Yeah, to help people with because there's people who there's being an entrepreneur or running a founder of an organization. There's times where you're frustrated, you feel alone, people don't understand what you're doing, and that can affect your mental, your physical. And it's great to have a community where you can just have an outlet to just have fun and open up your mind for creativity with the tools you have here. So I like the whole vibe and everything here. So we salute you and celebrate you for all the work that you're doing. All right, so that concludes our podcast interview. Thank you for your time and allowing us to be here. And I want to encourage people. I want to pull up the slide again.
The Startup Center.
Let me pull the slide here. There we go. So make sure you check out if you want a free consultation. There's the website there, www.unique.com, and you want to do your consultation. If you want to schedule just a tour, you want to go on the website. Also, there's a phone number, email there to support. Let's support one another. We can win together here in Detroit. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's episode 120. Torri Hicks, the startup guru. I'm going to show her facility again as we close out. So for those who joined us later, we're going to show that, and we'll see you next time. We're kind of slowing things down a little bit for the summer. I do have some other interviews coming up, but we're going to go big and hard in the fall. So I'm excited about that. So stay tuned. And thanks again for our sponsor of episode 120, Silas Williams, your local realtor, helping to serve you to meet your home buying needs. Be sure to reach out to him at 586-251-7253.
Right, we're here on Illinois in the Avenue of Fashion. The Startup Center is an all-in-one solution for business and nonprofit startup needs. And the other part is that we have fun. So we're a fun place to innovate. So you're not going to come here and be bored. You're going to enjoy the process of starting, growing, and scaling your business or nonprofit. We're doing LinkedIn Local right now. So all these beautiful smiles and all this glowing skin. LinkedIn Local is taking place right now. Come on down. See, these actually work. There's no charge for these. I'm probably aging myself, but you got Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and you got Miss Pac-Man. Yep, old school. Come back here. This is our consultation room. It's nice and cozy. So this is where, when you do your consultation, you get a chance to see your whole vision outlined on the screen. Right now, these are TV ads for our members. Our members pay $29.99 per month, and one of the benefits is to have a TV ad. Father, he's one of the major forces of why I started my business, and he's 92 years old, kicking it strong. This is our innovative think tank. Caution, take a look at that, childish adult play. So this is for adults. I know it looks like it's for kids, but they're games, and part of the process here is that you pick your play, and we want you to remove any limitations to your imagination so that you can really think about all that your business or nonprofit could be. Here's our board. There's bean bags. You can choose a bean bag or chair or just sit on the floor. That's what we do here. Here's some of our testimonials from our clients and our partners. And then here is our Marvel room, because we believe that everyone is a superhero that takes the leap into starting their business or nonprofit. So members can come and use our laptop or use this space if they need some privacy. And this is our office manager, also known as my mom. She is cleaning. And she does
Hey everyone, this is Charlie the Plug, your host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, powered by Empower You Ventures. Don't forget to subscribe so you too can be a part of the biggest empowerment network on YouTube and Facebook. We bring you weekly interviews of Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship, community involvement, also reaction to business news and community news. This does not happen without your support. Thank you.